What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I'd like to give you guys some Atlanta Falcons news. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for your continued support, continuing to share out my content on all the social media platforms. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So today at Atlanta Falcons news, the Falcons have released wide receiver Frank Darby and also wide receiver Chris Blair. Chris Blair actually had an injury and he was placed on the injury reserve early in training camp. So I'm not surprised to see Chris Blair get released because he already was not participating at camp due to his injury. And he pretty much had an injury settlement with the Atlanta Falcons. He actually came over from the XFL and was signed after the XFL season. He was a guy that I thought that could possibly make some noise in training camp because he's one of those bigger physical wide receivers. And he was really good in the XFL as far as run after catch. And I thought he would fit in this Atlanta Falcons scheme pretty well. But I do wish him nothing but the best in his football journey. And definitely hope that he heals up and possibly can make another roster. But with that being said, also today, Frank Darby was actually released. And this is a surprise to see Frank Darby get released because Frank Darby is one of those guys that was drafted by this regime in 2021. And I'm really surprised to see him get released because he's played really well at camp. He was one of those guys that early on I did state before his training camp started that I thought he would be a guy that possibly would be cut from the team or possibly would be on a chopping block. But because he played so well or performed so well so early in training camp and he's been making plays, I'm really surprised to see him get released. I'm not too sure how bad his injury was because they did say that he got injured early in the Miami Dolphins game. He had some type of soft tissue injury. So that could be the reason why he was released. But I have seen some development out of Frank Darby. So I'm really shocked to see him get released. And I'm wondering if this injury that he sustained is more severe than they're leading on. But with that being said, I do wish Frank Darby nothing but the best and happy trails as well. He is one of those guys that's very upbeat. He is one of those glue guys on this Atlanta Falcons team. Everybody likes being around him because of his vibrant personality. And to me, he was one of those guys that was a great special teams player. And he was one of those guys that would run through a wall for the team and do whatever the coaches asked him to do. And he was one of those guys that Arthur Smith talked about had played really well at training camp and was one of those guys that was catching the coach's eye. But I'm not too sure because of the depth that we have on this roster, the guys like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, we have Matt Collins, we have, Scotty Miller, and a number of other wide receiver, targets, not including Jonnu Smith, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and all of the other guys that we have. I really think that it came down to us having too many wide receivers. Josh Ali is another guy who's been playing really well at camp and played decent during the preseason game. So I'm really thinking that it came down to us just having too many wide receivers and the injury that he had. As we know, the best of ability is the availability. If you can't be available and you're injured, that could be another reason, like I said, why they decided to move on. Good news is if he's not picked up by another team, because we know that the NFL, injuries are going to happen during the season at some point. Hopefully we stay healthy, but we know that guys get nicked up at times. Maybe the Falcons can bring Frank Darby back on the practice squad, or maybe they can bring him back later on during the season at some point if someone goes down with injury, because he knows the system and he's been in this system the last 2 years with Arthur Smith, and they kind of trust him as one of those guys that know the scheme, know the system. If it comes down to it, he could be a player that they bring back if he's not too injured. So at this point, I do wish those guys nothing but the best. But you guys give me your thoughts on Frank Darby. Give me your thoughts on Chris Blair being released today. Like I said, it was a surprise to see Frank Darby get released, and I wish him nothing but the best. because I thought he was kind of turning the corner. And I did do a video a couple weeks ago talking about how well he was doing at training camp. But to see him get injured and go down in that first preseason game really sucks. And you guys know I hate injuries. But with that being said, this has been your boy Jew. I have a lot more content coming for you guys. If you haven't hit that subscribe button for your boy, we're on the road to 3,000. Hit that sub button for your boy. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Be blessed. Peace.